So Jamie,
Yes.
welcome back from Hawaii.
Aloha.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say.
Aloha.
Kept secret that they use that word.
Jamie.
Yes.
It's too hot in here now. It's cold outside.
Yeah, it's very cold outside.
Let's start with a history of Hawaii coffee.
Yes.
Because I feel like you should teach everyone about your adventures, but you were not on the main island.
No.
And for anyone that doesn't know, coffee came to Hawaii in about 1813. There was a sweet Spaniard. His name was Francisco de Paula y Marin, and he planted coffee on the island of Oahu.
Which is home to Honolulu.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People think it's on the Big Island, but it's not. It's
Geography.
Very confusing. But this guy, Francisco, was actually a personal physician of the king, which implies that maybe coffee is healthy for you.
Yeah, it is coffee.
It is, yeah.
It is coffee. It's healthy.
Medicinal.
That's the word I was looking
Yes.
for. Nobody knows what happens next, and that's the problem. I mean, it's old and like, who knows?
And you're basing it on journaling.
Yeah.
So keep up with your journaling.
But it wasn't too long. Hawaii didn't have to go very long, because in 1825, John Wilkinson planted more coffee on Oahu.
Yeah.
Everyone loved Oahu. Oahu. Oahu,
Yeah, I don't know
Oahu.
why.
I wonder why.
Should have done more research on that.
Again, plants didn't do very well.
Yeah. Apparently
And-
he got really sick and nobody took care of them.
Oh. So it just disappeared.
Yeah.
The more you know.
You know.
And then the first Kona coffee came in 1828
Something like that, yeah.
by a gentleman named Reverend Samuel Ruggles.
Ruggles. He was a missionary.
He was a missionary.
Spreading the good word and good coffee.
If you're gonna spread the good word, you might as well spread coffee.
Might as well.
And then it's kind of some ups and downs. They tried to really start in 36. In 1848, they came back, and really kind of troubled times for Hawaii coffee. Coffee grows, has bad seasons, there's frost, there's all these kind of things that are challenging the production of coffee. Until 1873, at the World Fair in Vienna, where Kona gets awarded with this basically a prize of coffee, and so begins the starts of the famous Kona coffee that we all know about.
We do.
So in case you're wondering, that's where it came from, the World Fair in Vienna in 1873.
Interesting.
Yeah. After that, there was a whole bunch of things going on. Sugar cane was really a big commodity in Hawaii, which took place of coffee. Coffee takes a lot of room to grow. It takes effort to grow, and sugar cane was quite quick. There was a war, and really by 1922, most of the coffee production in Hawaii had totally disappeared, except for the Kona district. So it really went up, down, really all the way down after World War I. And then eventually things started to pick up again. Coffee survives World War II, and you really have this burgeoning coffee thing. And by the 50s, coffee had blown up in Hawaii, which is probably why everyone sort of talks about it.
Yeah, it's funny. People are obsessed with Kona coffee.
Yeah.
Like even if you look on forums of where to find coffee, even on different islands, they say, where can I find Kona coffee?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
I think it's like the Blue Mountain in Jamaica. There's just
Right.
something about it that makes people think about coffee. And because it's a name, it's like Kleenex or like
Right.
Skidoo.
Right. Nobody wants a knockoff Skidoo.
No one wants a knockoff Skidoo. And now you have this infamous Kona coffee that everyone's going to talk about, dream about, and try to tell you that it's the best coffee in the world.
I think that what this means is that we're going to have to go to Kona
Yeah.
and decide if it's really worth the hype.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Hawaiian coffee, especially Kona coffee, is it's grown quite low actually. So coffee grows at a high elevation. Kona coffee sits somewhere around, 500 to 2,000 feet. So it is very low, which means it can grow all year round. If you think about Ethiopian coffees, you're talking 5,000, 6,000 feet up. Costa Rican coffees are, 4,000, 4,500 feet up. So you tend to have these places that grow quite high, and Kona has this option. This coffee belt in Kona can grow year round at a lower elevation.
Yeah.
Yeah. anyways, enough about like Kona coffee.
Because this isn't about Kona coffee.
No.
We don't know anything about Kona coffee.
And we're drinking some coffee that you brought back
I did.
from Hawaii.
It is not technically Hawaiian coffee, but it was roasted in Hawaii.
Okay.
So I feel like that counts.
Let's
Drink more coffee?
let's top it up. Perfect.
That's actually one of the wonderful things about getting coffee in Hawaii. If you get a to-go cup and
Yeah.
you, for example, run into a store to get some delicious Hawaiian donuts, hypothetically speaking, if you leave your coffee in your car, it stays warm, if not gets hotter. When you live here, you would never leave your coffee in the car.
No, it would just chill.
Exactly.
You'd have iced
Then you'd have
coffee.
iced coffee. But it actually, my coffee lasted for hours because I just kept running into stores. It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so we are drinking,
Not that one.
not that one.
We are drinking this one.
And what can you tell us about it? What's this?
This is, I don't know how to say it. I'm guessing it's Inua Coffee Roasters in, I was on the island of Kauai, which is the far west island. The far west. There's actually another Hawaiian island that's past Kauai, but it's privately owned by a rich family. So you can visit there, but you have to be invited.
Amazing.
Yeah, so Papua New Guinea. I have never had coffee from Papua New Guinea.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you have.
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
Okay. So this coffee roaster is right by my hotel, so
Yeah.
why wouldn't you go visit? And it's delicious coffee.
So when did coffee, thinking about Kona and Oahu, when did coffee come to Kauai? What's the deal with coffee in Kauai?
So there's not a lot of information on that.
Okay.
The funny thing about Kauai is there used to be lots of coffee plantations, or used to be more,
Okay.
but basically now they're down to one.
Okay.
And so as a private business, they don't seem to give a lot of information about
Like everything else.
all the history.
Is it obvious when you're there, like that that's a coffee plantation? Like, is there signs, or is it like a big deal?
No, you don't really know.
Okay.
So you kind of driving along the major highway, you can see that it exists.
Okay.
But if you didn't know what coffee trees look like, I don't think you'd know.
Yeah.
There's kind of a sign, it's like Kauai coffee this way.
Yeah.
And then you drive for a few miles and all you see is coffee trees.
Okay.
Kauai Coffee, the company, was a sugar plantation originally. And then approximately in the 80s, I think they started to diversify. There was, I think, the effort and the water that goes into sugar wasn't worth it. They weren't being competitive, so they switched over to coffee. And there's actually 2 people that still work for Kauai Coffee that worked for the sugar plantation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they worked there for like 47 years.
Holy.
Yeah, so they started diversifying, I think late 80s. I think there was they started with about 4,000 acres,
Okay.
so quite a lot.
Yeah, fair amount.
I know there was some devastation with a hurricane, so they've lost and or sold off a few acres, so they're down to like about 3,500, I think.
Okay.
3,000 or so. They have over 4 million trees, which is crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of the ones that you can visit, like on the road, they seem quite higher, but the ones that you can visit, they've recently chopped them all down. So they're 20-year-old trees, but they're only like
Oh.
this high.
Is it like wine? You just pare it back?
I think so. And because of the way that they process them or pick them,
Yeah.
what's
Processing? Yeah, yeah. Harvest?
harvest, they use like an old blueberry picker. So the trees have to be at a certain height, otherwise they don't fit under this
Oh, that's cool.
machine
Yeah.
that like flicks the trees. I'm not sure what year, but Kauai Coffee was actually purchased by the Massimo Zanetti Beverage Group
Out of Italy.
out of Italy.
Yeah, they're a big group.
Yeah, so they now own Kauai Coffee, which is a little bit sad, I feel like, for...
Shop locals no longer shop local.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a sponsor yet?
No, I don't. But you know the cool part? While you were gone, we had our first mail time. So in case you are curious, you can send packages to Jamie and Chris, care of The Journey of Coffee, to a non-existent P.O. box,
Yes.
aka you can hand deliver them.
Yes.
And our first mail time is brought to us by our friend Dean.
Yes, Dean.
Who gave us this espresso blend of roasty coffee, roasted out in Sherwood Park.
Which we have visited.
We have visited. They have this unbelievable coffee honey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'll
yes.
talk about the coffee honey one day. We'll find it. So on top of the coffee beans, he also gifted us this 33 cups of coffee, a pocket coffee tasting journal.
So we can only drink 33 cups of coffee. And
Yeah.
we're done.
And then someone else is going to have to send us to the P.O. box of in person. And yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but they actually put some coffee in the ink that they use to print these.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yep.
So anyways, there's no sponsors for the vlog yet, but we have mail time.
And friends.
Did you actually, did you see the roaster there? Like, do they have a roaster there that you can see, or is it like all big process?
So they have a roaster in the visitor center, but based on the amount of coffee that they produce is not.
Yeah, no.
One other fun thing is that most people think that coffee beans or coffee cherries are only red, but most of theirs are yellow.
Yellow
They have
cherries.
Yellow cherries. They have a different variety.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, lots of coffee there.
Yes.
So, Imua,
Yes.
not doing Hawaiian coffee, but roasting coffee.
But roasting coffee.
Kauai coffee,
Kauai coffee.
grown there, processed, sold.
Yeah. And you can actually find some Kauai coffee here.
Okay.
Apparently Walmart.
At Walmart. Wow. How's that for global economy?
Yeah.
They say it's rich volcanic soil, abundant mountain rain, warm Pacific sun, and cool trade winds make Kauai one of the world's great coffee origins. That's kind of cool. It's a nice bean. This Papua New Guinea is quite nice.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I found that we've tried a couple of the coffees now from Hawaii, and they've been very, very drinkable.
Yes.
I think if you got this like in the morning for your brunch, or if you had it at work, like it would be
Just drink all the cups.
yeah, it would be a lot of coffee. I think you'd kill it. There's none of that real dark, super chocolatey kind of intense flavors. It's not, doesn't appear to be very acidic.
But isn't that something that comes with elevation though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about,
Not that this would change because that's Papua New Guinea.
yeah, but it definitely comes with some of these things
Yeah.
for sure. So sweet. I think it'd be cool to see that. I think because everyone knows about Kona coffee,
Yeah.
the Kauai coffee seems kind of cool. You like went somewhere different.
I know. And I have another one.
Hanalei?
Hanalei.
Hanalei.
Yes. So Hanalei is on the North Shore.
Okay.
The road past Hanalei was closed, so we got stuck there, and I Google mapped and saw that there was a coffee roaster right across the street from where I was standing. Did I luck out on this trip?
Yeah.
So this is a couple, I believe, who kind of started roasting out of their house.
Oh, backyard roasters.
Backyard roasters. And they kind of had a little cafe, and people love their coffee, so they actually had to move their roasting to a larger facility. So I don't think it's actually roasted in Hanalei anymore. I think it's moved a little bit south, but it's still roasted in a micro roasting.
And we haven't tried this yet.
We haven't tried this.
Yeah. We have a lot of coffee to drink from Hawaii.
Yes. So Hanalei doesn't actually, from what I can find out, doesn't actually grow their own coffee, and they don't seem to use Kauai coffee, but they use Hawaiian coffee. So they either get it from Oahu or
Kona.
Kona.
Cool.
So this one's a blend. So I don't know where these beans came from, but I had a iced Americano when I was there, and it was quite delightful.
Did the ice melt very quickly?
They actually did something very smart. So most people, when you get an iced Americano, you get ice, shots of espresso, and then water. But they're in a warmer climate, so they put lots of ice and shots of espresso and just like a tiny splash of water.
And just let it all dilute.
And then it just slowly, the ice melts. So it's not over diluted. What?
Brilliant.
Yes. Plus I drank the very delicious Hawaiian Paradise in my Keurig machine.
To
Every morning.
the Keurig.
Yes, delicious.
Any parting facts you'd like to tell us about any of these things?
I would say This is not to knock any Hawaiian coffee, but I think that people hold Hawaiian coffee on an odd pedestal, and I wouldn't say it's the best coffee in the world. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Hawaii.
Sorry, Hawaii.
I really liked you.
You can still sponsor our vlog, Hawaii.
Yes. But even like at Kauai Coffee, they have like carafes all around the table and you can try them off. And they were good, but there wasn't many that I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're gonna have to make some more coffee now
Yes.
because we have a lot of coffee to drink.
So much.
To the Hawaiian coffee.
Cheers to Hawaii.
Cheers to you guys.
Aloha.
Aloha.
And mahalo. That means thank you.
Mahalo for watching.
Exactly.
If there's one thing I've noticed about the Kauai coffee is that it is greasy.
Yes. And I know that this is something we talk about often, is packaging.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the packaging. I think it looks fine. And I mean, it's a little kitschy, but the one thing I noticed is when I open it, now there's no way to close it.
Yeah.
So I noticed that some of the coffee is sold with like a little clip, but for some reason these estate reserves were not.
And you would think because it's an estate reserve,
Fancy.
it's fancy.
Yeah.
It's the estate reserve.
Yeah. But so now I'm just gonna have stale coffee, I guess. Maybe it'll let off some of the grease.
Yeah. We should talk about coffee storing, but we'll leave that for another episodes.
Yes.
It's definitely a dark coffee.
Dark roast.
Whew.
And it is an espresso roast.
It is an espresso roast?
Yes. But as two people who often drink espresso roast, it's, yeah. It's kind of hot.
Yeah, it's too hot to drink. We'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. We're back.
It's very dark.
Yes.
Maybe that's also an estate thing. It's still hot, but I'm gonna tell you. To me, this is what you get when you like go to an office building. And like this is like a Van Hoot coffee.
Premium dark roast.
Premium dark roast. And it rips apart your insides.
Just gonna put that there.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get Kauai Coffee to sponsor us anytime soon. They like to drink the coffee. I feel like Jack Black. I don't know, that's how.
Adam Sandler would make a nice jingle.
Oh, Adam Sandler would like a rhyming jingle.
Yeah.
Billy Roth lights the menorah. So do James Caan, Kirk Douglas, and the late Dinah Shore. That's okay. Adam Sandler, maybe. He can make our jingle.
Yeah. Now you're watching this.
To the coffee.